emotional about the series last season. But I waited a little to make a video because I didn't want it to be as emotional when I start talking about it, and it's a series that I've loved since season 1, and the last season disappointed me. So I decided I'll talk about it. The season that I'm talking about is, if you can't guess by the title, it is the infamous The Umbrella Academy. And if you're a fan of the Umbrella Academy, just like me, you would know that the last season was something. I mean, like you can see, I've written a blog. I'll link it in the description if you want to read that. And yeah, there's a lot of things that I want to talk about it in this season. I mean, there are a lot of questions that they didn't answer during this season. For me, I would personally say that I would like to say that the season ended at season 3. But season 4, it was something. I mean, there were a lot of questions that were left unanswered. The reason why I'm using this blog, because again, I didn't write a script and I'll be using my blog in figuring out the points that I want to talk about. For example, if you remember, in season 3's end credit scenes, there was a scene with Ben and Crane. What happened to that? Alright? And secondly, they could have done so much with the fact that the Umbrella Academy lost their powers. They could have done so much with that, but they didn't do anything. Literally, they didn't do anything about it. I mean, okay, the blog is pretty aggressive, so if you are going to read the blog, there's a lot of aggression in that. But here, the first thing that I was searching for in season 4, and I was like, you know what, where is Sloane? You just introduced us to a character, then made us believe that we would find her back in season 4. Because if you remember, at the end of season 3, Luther went to look for Sloane.
I gotta go find my wife.
No! What happened to Sloane? Why isn't it being questioned? What happened? Did Luther look for her and didn't find her? How much did he look for her? Why is he so satisfied with himself that he couldn't find Sloane? I mean, I get it that it's been 4 years, but give us something. Give us an answer. What happened to Sloane? And Luther only mentions it like 2 or 3 times the entire season. Yeah, I just know that it angered me. The missing powers. There was a lot. Like when I saw in season 3 that the Umbrella Academy have lost their powers, I was like, okay, season 4 would be fun. Okay, there were a lot of things, a lot of theories at the end of season 3 that why did Reginald didn't allow 5 to stand in the sigil, and didn't allow Allison to stand in the sigil and ask 5 to stand there instead. What happened with that? Like, if you remember correctly, why did Allison lose her powers? Because she wasn't standing in the sigil. Why on earth did Allison lose her powers? If I remember correctly, so Allison was the only one who wasn't standing in the sigil, and still she is in the same group as the rest, the ones who lost their powers. So that was a question first. Secondly, I was expecting a lot on how they will regain their power. If you see, they started the season really well. Like, everyone's living their own lives. Some are living their life well. Some are still waiting for their powers again. Some want them. Some are still living in the remembrance of their old life. And I expected a lot on how they will regain their powers. And what happened? A random laundry man gave them a box with a marigold in it. Now in the future we do figure out who the laundry man was, but the way they got their power and then Ben tricked them into drinking it. Like, all that anticipation after season 3 ended till season 4 started, all that anticipation, and the thing we got was a random laundry man gave them the powers and Ben tricked them into drinking it. Like, I just I don't understand. And specifically, okay, one more thing. Five's CIA background. I thought it was a great storyline giving Five CIA, like getting Five into CIA. But the background, like, what did you do with that? Seriously, what did you do with this storyline? You didn't even went deeper into it. I promised I would get emotional. I'm getting emotional again about the series. I loved the Umbrella Academy. Like, I loved the Umbrella Academy. What happened with the Umbrella Academy in season 4? To me, I would say personally, season 3 was the last season. I would just imagine that I'd never watched season 4. Anyways, I love the actors, by the way. I love all the actors. Okay, now here is the point. If you were an Umbrella Academy fan just like me, you would know the feeling that we felt. I was screaming at my screen when I realized that they were giving a love story to the dynamics. They were like starting, I don't even know how to say this. I was screaming at my screen when I noticed that Five and Lila were having a romantic arc. Like, how could you do this? A romantic angle. Then, this change in their relationship dynamic was so unnecessary. Like, we didn't needed that. I remember I had mentioned in a few Reddit posts, even commented somewhere. If you wanted to give Five a love story, like, okay, first of all, there were a lot of things regarding Five that I will talk in the future. Okay, I will start talking about it, but there were a lot of things about Five. But if you even wanted to give him a love story, give him Dolores. If Allison could have her daughter and Ray, was Ray right? If they could have both of them, if she could have both of them in this new timeline, if she could get them back, why can't we give Five a human version of Dolores? I think we ship Five more with Dolores than we could ever ship Five with Lila. I think Five and Lila had this amazing sibling chemistry. Their banter, their little fights, and the thing that I want to talk later on about, but I think I'll talk about this right now because I want to talk about the characters. Anyways, Five loved his family. The reason why he came back to this timeline, not this timeline, but the timeline that he came back to, was to save his family from the apocalypse. Throughout the season, you can tell that Five really felt for his family. And he had only two reasons. One, saving his family, like protecting his family. And two, the apocalypse, saving the world from the apocalypse. Like, these were the only storylines Five ever had. He was a character that was so focused and so much, I don't know, it was something about Five's character that didn't needed a romantic arc. But still, if you wanted to give him a romantic arc, we actually had a person for Five, Dolores. Okay, Dolores was American, but that also added something to Five's character. Dolores being American added that emotional, I don't know what it's called, it added something to Five's character. Please do not, why am I saying please? It's already happened. Why did they give Five and Lila this romantic arc, this romantic angle? I didn't like it at all. And we ship Lila more with Diego. Okay? There was a chemistry the way they met, then how their relationship got stronger, and the way Diego found out about Lila's identity. Then in season 3, the way at the beginning of season 3 they were yearning for each other. The way they got together, everything. How Lila dreamed about having a family with Diego. At the end of season 3, she was like, we can start a family this time. Everything. Okay, I get it that if Lila and Diego are having some trouble in their marriage, you gave us first that, made us ship Lila and Diego together, and then you just gave us some weird thing, weird train ride that was supposed to cover 7 years and made and believed that we would ship Lila and Five together. And if you're shipping them together, good for you. If you like the storyline, good for you. I'm just telling you what I felt. Okay. Secondly, yeah, also, if we do think that maybe Lila will cheat on Diego, okay? Lila had a troubled childhood. Lila was bored in her relationship, because we can tell that Lila was bored because she was an assassin and it was difficult for her to start a family life. Totally understandable. We can understand that maybe Lila will cheat on Diego, right? But with Five, secondly, even if she does decide to cheat on Diego with Five, my question is, why did Five do that? I mean, if you remember correctly, Five was the one in season 3 when he was like, he's in love with that idiot loves you, if you remember that line, okay? Five was sort of, if you could say, the reason Diego and Lila are together. And also, Five would never hurt his brother. I don't know, it's just not Five. You didn't get this Five to us in the last 3 seasons. You showed us Five as someone who loves his family. So I don't know, this change was really difficult for me. And Five, if I'm remembering correctly, when Five in season 2, when they went into the 60s, when Five got a chance to go back, when the handler gave him that briefcase, to take his family back to the original timeline, for his family, Five murdered an entire board of directors, okay? He assassinated them, okay? Okay? So, and then when all of his family members weren't there, the bag that he earned, he let go of it, okay? Because he didn't want to leave without his family. Everything he ever did was for his family. So why would he hurt his brother on purpose for Lila? Like, why would he do that? Like, suddenly he fell in love with Lila. He was ready to abandon his family for fight for themselves against the clans. He was ready to abandon his brother and hurt his brother. Everything for Lila. Didn't he left Dolores? He didn't left everything that he ever did for his family, and now he's ready to abandon his family for Lila. And even if he did fall in love that bad with Lila, what did he give us? A song with a time lapse telling us that, oh, 7 years have passed. It's not just Five's feelings, it's the viewers' feelings as well. We gotta accept that. Okay, I wrote this amazing line that I want to say about Five. The best thing about Five was that he was always very clear about his mission, but this Five suddenly had way too many distractions. And you can tell why. Five wasn't the main show this time, but just another storyline. Wow, I'm such a good writer, you should read the blog. I wrote it in very detail. Like right now, I'm not speaking that detail as much as I wrote in the blog. Again, what was going on with the characters? Five did not feel like that, I don't know, 60-year-old in a teenager's body. He felt like a teenager. He felt like he was growing up again, like he forgot all of the things he learned beforehand. Five was a teenager again, in my opinion, in this season. In the last 3 seasons, he did felt like an old man stuck in a young boy's body. But this season 5 didn't feel like that. Something was wrong. Third, Luther and Diego. What did they do with that? I don't know why they just made them a comedic scene, or they felt like side characters instead of the main lead. Something was wrong with Luther and Diego. They made them some comedic side characters or sidekicks. Luther and Diego are a part of the Umbrella Academy. Why did you turn them into that? Why did you give them the storyline? I don't get it. Also, I think Klaus' character felt really odd. Like, okay, you gave us that five card, the Klaus. In the last 5 years, I don't know. That Klaus changed in the last 5 years. That he was sober now, that he was protective of his life. But if I'm remembering correctly, when they got their power back, okay, you turned him, I'm talking about the writers, directors, the team behind Umbrella Academy, you turned Klaus a drug addict again because I think Klaus was not being as funny for you. I don't know. Why am I saying you? I'm not trying to be that mad. I don't know. I don't want to be that mad in this video. I don't know. I waited this long to make this video so I don't come off as aggressive as I was coming off with my bell. I'm being so bad. Anyways, Klaus is an iconic character. We know that, right? Klaus is funny. Klaus can. Everything about Klaus is amazing. You made him sober. Got it. No problems with that. Why did you make him a drug addict again? Or you shouldn't have made him sober and a germaphobe in the beginning of the season. Because if you are forgetting, the writers, if you are forgetting, in season 3, Klaus actually got a hold of his powers. Klaus understood his powers. He knew, he got a hold of them. He got comfortable with his powers by the end of season 3. How in season 4, when he got his powers back, he's become the same old person again, scared of his powers, scared of what it brings, and then he becomes a drug addict again. And also, okay, now there are a lot of story plots that didn't make sense to me. And because I've talked enough about the 5 Umbrella storyline, I won't mention that again. Okay, first of all, the first story plot that I couldn't understand in season 4 was Abigail. What happened with Abigail? Okay, to end the season 4, you told us that the reason apocalypse kept happening again and again and again was because of the siblings, okay? Okay, it happened because of the siblings. My question with you is, why do I keep saying you? I don't know why do I keep saying you. Please do not ignore the yous, okay? But this is the way I talk. My question is, if it could be possible that the siblings were the reason the apocalypse kept happening in the last 3 seasons. This season 4, it wasn't the siblings' fault. They were living their lives normally. They were not engaging in anything else. Abigail came. She gave the siblings marigold, told them where Jennifer is, even though Reginald has made an entire town to keep Jennifer, okay? Told them where Jennifer is, and then forced the marigold and the, what was it called? Durango, I don't know how to pronounce it, and forced those 2 elements to interact. Why on earth would you do something like that? And if you were mad, if the reason you told that it was because she wanted to end it and Reginald wasn't letting her go, then end your own and Reginald's life. Why destroy the entire world with you? Why did you do this? And then she said, because you kept destroying the world again and again. But you did the same thing. You destroyed the world again. Another thing, Reginald made sure that he removes the memory of all of the members, okay? All the people forgot what happened during Ben's death. How did Ben die, right? My question with you is, why didn't Ben remember? Wasn't he always there with Klaus in season 1 and season 2? Couldn't he tell Klaus that this has happened? Maybe he didn't see Reginald because he was behind him. But at least he could have told him about Jennifer. What happened with Jennifer? Also, one thing that I had a few questions about the squid story. What was up with the squid story regarding Jennifer? Because we are back at Jennifer, right? So now, now let's get to Jennifer because there are a lot of questions that I'm going to ask about Jennifer as well. The squid story. What was up with the squid? I mean, why was she in it? Why was Jennifer in it? What was the squid's point? Who is Jennifer? And how did Reginald know she was the one with Durango? Who was Jennifer? Why was she in the squid? And secondly, also one other question was, why on earth did she trusted Ben so suddenly and not what she had known her entire life? Like if we remember correctly, Jennifer lived in that town since she was a baby. Because that town was created for her. Not a baby, but child. She was, I think, 11. It's been 2 months since I watched the series. Like I said, I took some time. She was a child, right? And her entire life she's known this town. So why didn't she just trust the people of the town and trusted Ben instead? And left with Ben so suddenly? Like, give us some reason why she trusted Ben and not her uncle. Also, if you remember correctly one part, in season 3, the Sparrow's pen, when Victor gets angry and goes to the Sparrow Ben's room, you see sketches and the name Jennifer written on his wall. How was this Jennifer, if this Jennifer was in the storyline of first pen, the Jennifer incident, right? The umbrella pen. If Jennifer was a part of the umbrella pen's storyline, how did the Sparrow Ben have his sketches and everything in his room? Why wasn't Jennifer written on the board in his room? How was he connected to Jennifer? And if something like a memory or something was bothering him, or not bothering him, but something was affecting him, why didn't he think of it when he actually met Jennifer? Why didn't we got that answer? Another thing that I didn't write in the blog, but I wanted to write, but I forgot to write about it, was, if you remember correctly, season 3, the whole season 3 was based on the grandfather paradox. The Google Blitz happened because of the grandfather paradox. My question with you is, if Allison's daughter and Lana and Diego's children went into the one and only timeline and the rest of the Umbrella Academy would cease to exist, how did the grandfather paradox not happen again? Whose children are they in that timeline? Their parents does not exist in that timeline, so whose children are they? How did the grandfather paradox and the Google Blitz didn't happen that time as well? If that happened in season 3. Anyways, these were my thoughts and I sound angry again, but this was my very first movie review. I told you there would be 2 or 3 things coming to this channel. Movie reviews, book reviews. I'm pretty sure that I'll complete my promise of the Good Girls Guide to Murder in the next video. I hope so. So I will do this, and if you like this video, do give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And this is goodbye from Dure or the Cook or whatever you like to call me. Do subscribe to this channel if you like this type of videos, because I will be bringing a lot of new stuff live. Like I said, this is the first movie review. You've already gotten a little book review, sort of book vlog, book review from me before, but this is the very first movie review from me, and not movie, series review. And the reason why I started this because the Umbrella Academy actually made me realize that I actually want to talk about certain series as well that I watch. I don't watch too many series, so you won't get that much movie or series reviews from me, but the ones that you would get, do tell me how you feel about them. Also, there are a lot of other things that I would like to talk about, but what are they? You will get to know them in the future, because sometimes I just want to sit down and talk about things. And yeah, I hope it's not here if my dog is drinking water. So yeah, so this was me. It's a goodbye from Dureywrites or whatever you like to call me. And I'll see you in my next video. Hopefully